of the future. Even there you'll be speaking to me. I can't run away, I can't hide away, I can't find a way from you. You have the words of life. See me and know my heart. Help me to stay and live closer to you. I could fall to the land of the dying, but your love would be bound to pursue. I could hide until darkness surrounds me, but the night could not hide me from you. I can't run away, I can't hide away, I can't find a way from you. You have the words of life. See me and know my heart. Help me to stay and live closer to you. I can ride on the wings of the morning. I can fly to the ends of the sea. I can hide in the sands of forever, but you will keep following me. I can't run away, I can't hide away, I can't find a way from you. You have the words of life. See me and know my heart. Help me to stay and live closer to you. I can't run away, I can't hide away, I can't find a way from you. You have the words of life. See me and know my heart. Help me to stay and live closer to you. Closer to you. Words don't seem to happen. The music never comes. The story can't be spoken to speak what you have done. No, I can't believe you know me and love me just the same. Your light cuts through my darkness, and I'm reaching for the flame. Never let me go. Hold me in your love. Surround me by your strength in all I do. Oh, let my heart be true. Never let me go. I surrender to your fire. I see the power burning in your name, and I'm reaching out my hand to touch the flame. See the hand that holds creation and speaks by sacrifice, how you suffered for the universe and paid the final price. All my failures and my weakness, secrets and the shame, by your fire purified, and I reach to touch the flame. Never let me go. Hold me in your love. Surround me by your strength. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. We're all in the mood for a melody. I hope you are. You've got us feeling. Well, Sue?
All right.
That'll do. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man who's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke. I'll light up your smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. Oh, he said, John, I believe this is killing me, as a smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Pretty good crowd for Sunday.
It is.
This really.
And now comes the customary pause in the middle of a song.
Oh, right. Okay.
Where we, like Terry Wogan, just babble on for a long, long time and hope that you just
And why
enjoy
not?
the babble. Sue,
Jonathan.
I just need you to babble for a bit because
Okay.
my mouth
Well,
is exhausted.
I can babble because I want to say good evening to a few people that may not stay for a very long time.
Oh,
So
that's always good to hear.
Yes, well, the Hat Varneys are actually watching from New Zealand,
That's
which,
just showing
considering
off.
it's the wee small hours, no, not the wee small hours, but it's morning for them, and they're going to be heading off somewhere.
Little song for you.
Listen, this is not a game.
What?
I'm not going to say a few lines in the hope that you're going to play the song.
A little bit of Frankie.
That's another time. Hush. I would need to greet a few people. Stop it.
One little line for them. You ready?
Welcome, Jill and Andy.
In the wee small hours of the morning. I'm recording this, you know, very soon. When the whole wide world is fast asleep, you lie awake and think about the girl and never ever think of counting sheep. When the whole wide world has learned its lesson,
No, you haven't, have you? You've got your first
you'd be
gong.
hers if only she would call in the wee small hours of the morning. That's the time you miss her, Andy and Jill, most in Christchurch or wherever you are in New Zealand, which we love.
No, they're in
I
the
love
North
singing in
Island.
there.
They're in
Where
the
are
North. They're in the North
they?
Island.
Oh,
still.
Auckland,
Yes,
which is my
well,
famous place.
I know.
was
Let's.
Auckland's what?
I want to move on.
I don't want to move on. I want to stay here. So
Okay.
happy days in New Zealand, and I hope you have a lovely time. Who's next?
Gail and Ron are over in the US, of course, but this time they're with Ron's family.
Ah.
So Ron's family, Ron's parents. Hello, welcome to this.
Nice to see you all. I'm
slightly-
here on a Monday and my heart's too still. I do run, 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 I do run, run. That's for you out there. I can't think of any
Can
other
I just
song.
tell you, you've just received 2 test cards.
When I fall in love. Because, of course, Gail and Ron, deeply in
Fallen
love.
in love.
So lovely. We shared a lovely Chinese milk with them when they came over from the States. When I fall in love, it will be forever. For I'll never fall in love. And the moment that I feel that you feel that way too, Ron and Gail, it's when I fall in love with you. But I'm doing a song for every occasion, Sue, for people all around the world. Don't deny me my pleasures.
I'm not going to,
All right,
darling.
what's next?
Well, those were the international people I just wanted to welcome because they were the ones that had actually said they
Now,
were
we
here.
have
And
some-
Dan Bellamy has crept in tonight.
Ah!
He said, would you
Dan.
allow the prodigal son to come home?
Dan Bellamy, we always will love you to come home. And it's there out in the darkness, fugitive running, fallen from grace, fallen from grace. God be my witness, I never shall yield till we come face to face, till we come face to face. He knows his way in the dark, mine is the way of the Lord, and those who follow the path of the righteous shall have their reward. And if If they fall as Lucifer fell, they fall in flame. And so it has been, so it is written. The doorway to paradise, and those who falter, and those who fall must pay the price. Lord, let me find him, that I may see him, safe behind bars. I will never rest till then. This I swear, this I swear by the stars. That's in between, by the way, and that was for Maureen and Joe, who are having a bit of a week of it this week. We know.
We
And
do.
there was a little moment of recognition there from you, Keith. Professor Keith, put him on the screen.
I'm just
A moment of extraordinary recognition when I started singing Stars, and you went, "Ooh, I know that one."
I do.
You do. And, well, you're a bit of a Les Mis fan.
Yeah, I've been a few times to see that.
Have you really?
Yeah, absolutely. When I was a student in London.
Where did you go to university then?
Oh, a few places, but I started off at St George's in Tooting.
Oh, St George.
Right.
Working in the hospital. They're doing
In the
your
hospital.
degree out of the hospital.
Yep. I was in paediatrics there.
My goodness, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
By the way, everybody, this round of applause all the way in.
Hey,
The
welcome.
amazing, incredibly talented, and you are so privileged to have this man in this room. You have no idea. He was gardening until 5:30.
That is true.
And he has green fingers. He still has muddy boots, and he's in here, and he literally jumped in the car from Southampton and found his way here, knocked on the door, had tea and crumpets, and he's here with you now to share. And what an extraordinary story it is from a boy born in where?
I was born in a place called Morecambe.
Morecambe.
Oh,
It's
Rachel's very
close to
happy tonight.
Blackpool.
In fact, one of my claims to fame
Go on.
is that my grandfather on my father's side was a stonemason. And he helped build Morecambe Promenade, and the clock tower by the Eric Morecambe statue was built by my granddad.
Oh, wow.
I love that area.
Well, hold on,
Oh,
Rachel's
Rachel's-
clipping
oh,
in.
Rachel's-
I'm afraid, everybody, we're going to have a conversation between the two people who are and it's very closely related because where they are, those of you going up to Grange, going up in a few weeks' time for our JV away day up at Thornley Christian Hotel, you will probably have a visit to Cartmel. And your people came from all the farms around there?
Yep, the Wilson family, the Wilson clan, that's my maternal side. So, yep, all the farmers up there. Wilson potatoes and Wilson sheep.
Sheep as well?
Absolutely,
Right,
yep.
so you'd have known then, I suppose you wouldn't necessarily have known, Arthur's lot, what were they called, Sue? The capsticks? The capstick brand? of
Don't
sheep.
know
they're a
them.
bit further over.
But the good news about the sheep is they're paid now by the National Trust to put the sheep on the bay to keep the Spartina grass down. And then, of course, because the grass in the bay, the sea bay, the lamb becomes sea salt lamb, and they can sell the lamb to expensive restaurants in London. So they get double money. They get money to eat the grass in the bay, and then they get double money because...
Can I just say, the lambs don't get that, okay?
No, the lambs, not the
They
farmers.
don't get paid at all. I'm just saying.
They've lost
they
everything
pay the
by that
biggest
point.
ultimate price.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that we might have mint sauce. And, anyway, can I just say, is it nice to hear, finally, a northern voice on this show?
An actual proper northern voice as well in my area.
A proper northern voice. Well,
I've been to Morecambe.
one of our favourite places. We used to go. This is unbelievable truth, and it's absolutely right, isn't it, Rachel?
Yeah.
I used to go. My parents in the '60s used to go to Barrow-in-Furness Rampside, which was the bay when it was actually when it was sand. And there was a chalet up there that they borrowed from somebody in a church up there. They met somewhere down in Devon, and I became attached to that place, and it was literally just up the rampside, which we always have to go. So here we go, and it doesn't look like anything much in the rain. And now, well, what do you think of it, Rachel?
It's fine.
There we are. See, that's as good as it gets up north. It's fine. It's fine. It will do. But actually,
I can remember taking my wife-to-be, only engaged just over 40 years ago, up to Barrow, to Walney Island.
Walney Island, yes.
Oh,
And it was the Monday, and there were, of course, back-to-back houses there on a Monday.
Yeah.
They closed the roads down, but that's right. They put the washing across the road between the houses, and you look down the roads, and all the washing is hung up, and you can't drive down the road on a Monday.
Oh my goodness.
In those days in Walney Island.
Oh my goodness. You don't remember that? You're too young, aren't you?
No, but you can actually tell because Barrow and Walney area is built on a grid system. That works.
Yes, because it's built on the grid system.
That's
only.
right.
Yeah, she's a bit knowledgeable. She's lived there. How old are you? 35 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are so thrilled to have Keith in, aren't you? It's like
because it's Morecambe. Because I went there a lot as a kid.
Yes, exactly. It's like Blackpool, novelty for fresher and fun, but it's not quite. It's not. Morecambe Bay, many people feel, is a lot better than Blackpool, and one has to say I agree. And what could come from there but Eric Morecambe?
Aye.
Right now,
Can we finish Piano Man now?
No, I haven't finished Piano Man. Do you mind?
That's what I
I'm in
mean.
the
Shall we
middle of
finish it,
Piano Man.
or unless you get the test card, another
All
track?
right, here we go. Right, here we go. Look, but you're a very interesting person already, and we haven't even talked about anything. You know. Anyway, it goes. What key am I in? Oh, it's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday. And the manager gives me a smile.
Slightly weary one.
She knows that it's me. They've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. Oh, and the piano, it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone, it smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. And once again, we welcome you as the piano dies. What's this one? Oh, here we go. This song is from an album I recorded years and years ago, 25 years ago. I've got to find it. It's that unfamiliar to me. Here we go. The words I have to say may be simple, but they're true. Until you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Elton John, way back in 73, I think it was. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one can offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? You say you find it hard the life that you once knew. There's no other way. Now it's really up to you. Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? The words I have to say may be simple, but they're true. Till you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one can offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? You know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? One of the reasons I chose this song, or in fact Al chose this song, was the beautiful playing of Raul de Oliveira on flugelhorn. That's blessed us. There he is. And he's currently in hospital as we speak, having undergone some quite serious heart stuff. And this man, he just came in and blessed us so many times in every recording we did for years. So whatever you can, if you've got a record of his, there he is again. Just spare him a prayer, will you please? Incredibly, he wrote in yesterday and he said that he's been just walking around the ward trying to typical
Typical
of
Raoul, isn't it? Bless
and
him.
just round the ward, Keith, he walked 10,500 steps.
Wow.
That is some walking around a small ward.
It's a big ward.
That is, it's either it's a big ward or it's an awful lot of times around it. I'm going to go for that because he's that kind of guy. And he was an unexploded bomb when he came into the studio. Mainly because he was, if you saw him, some of you would have seen him play on Live Aid. He played on George Michael's set on Live Aid. And that was he led the brass section then. And it was fantastic. He came on live tours with me. He recorded on nearly every album. And then he suddenly had a massive convulsive stroke. And it took him out. And he's been learning to play out of different sides of his mouth. And because the embouchure here, the stroke has really damaged. It was a severe stroke. So we send up for Raoul. We send you big love, my brother from a different mother, and you are a special gift to so many, to the church as well as to people outside the church. You're just a gift and a ministry to so many people. I know, Keith, you have a
I've heard him a couple of times at Spring Harvest, and when that flugelhorn plays, it just goes right through you, doesn't it? It's just unbelievable, and it brings you somehow very close to that place of worship with God, doesn't it? It touches your heart. It does. It's very, very powerful.
It is a resonance. It's an ASMR, something that happens. we were doing a show. Do you remember in the Isle of Wight? Do you remember this?
I do.
And we had the full band there. We were on tour. Well, I can't remember what it was called now, but the full band.
Family
on
and
tour,
Friends.
Eight
It was called
players.
Jonathan Veira with Family and Friends.
Family and Friends too, wasn't it? So I had my boys playing, and piano, guitar, bass, drums, and I was on the keys, and Mark Ed was on the keys. Then they had on the vocals we had Claire Wheeler, and then we also had him on flugel, and a guy called
Matt Coleman
on trombone, and they formed this wonderful duo during the show. And we did. I remember which one it was, but the must have been cold there.
Oh yes, Wind Beneath My
In
Wings.
my shadow. To never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine. That's your way. Anyway. We did all this song, and at the end, I said to him, I just leaned across. It was completely improvised, and I just said to his brother Raoul, "Pray for us now." And that's what he does when he plays. He prays.
Wow.
He just and he played this.
And it just got higher and higher and higher.
Higher
Oh,
and higher
it was
and
wonderful.
his embouchure, his lip was so perfect because he could do everything. He could play jazz, middle of the road, everything. You always asked him because he could do it all. He could do classical as well. And he was such a talented musician, could play every instrument that everybody could play, better than they could play it. He would show you how the drum rhythm went. He's he's very, very much a Cuban rhythm, D'Oliveira's, he has it in him. And he played this, and I remember it went on, the solo went on, and we I just kept going like this. And Mark, who was MDing it for me, a fantastic musician, jazz musician par excellence, and he just kept looking at me and going, I said, just play it, do it. And this solo went from strength to strength to strength to strength until he ended up on practically the top note that he could play, a top F sharp, 2 octaves above. And he let it sail, and it stayed up there, hung in the air, and it just went like this. Nobody applauded. It was a moment of absolute moment of, if you like, meeting the transcendent. And a lot of people in the audience were not Christian. That's the idea of my shows. Have a huge amount of people who come just to listen to the music. And what happens is they meet moments like that.
Absolutely. Well, music can do that, can't it? It can take us to a place where we can really feel somehow the presence of God in ways that we can't in other ways see it. And for Raoul in his situation tonight,
We pray
may
for him.
God just bless him
Yeah.
and pour out his love, because he has been a blessing to so many people over so many years. But whatever happens to him, I guess we know that the worst could be that he'll be with his maker or be with his Lord one day soon, maybe, or maybe not. But we just want God to be with him tonight.
Yeah. Amen to that. Thank you for praying for that. And that's just a legacy that you and I, and me particularly through the music. But you've got one of your special friends, your close friends, is very close to him.
Yeah, one of my very, very best mates. I go out with him nearly every Wednesday. Mark is a drummer, and he knows Raoul well. And I'm not a musician myself, but I'm just enjoying being in this room with you and hearing your music. And it's like the world through the world of eyes of music. My world's very different, but amen to that.
Well, yeah, and I think that's in this room. And I think actually for those of you who join us, there's a man that's joined us tonight called, and let me just get this. I'm because he's joining us for the first time. Arnold Pollitt, I think his name is, and Fiona. He's just sent me this. Fiona, and he's asked me if I would. He's just put down, would you sing "You Raise Me Up"? So I'll sing I'll do a verse of it.
Why not?
When I am down, and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come, my heart burdened be, and I am still and wait wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. There is no life without its hunger. Each restless heart beats so imperfectly. But when you come and I'm filled with wonder, sometimes I think I glimpse eternity. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. Then I am strong when I'm on your shoulders. Yes, you raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. Then I am strong when I'm on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be. And that is for the Pollets, both, and we welcome you. You wrote into me today and you said, quite simply, you wrote, "We enjoy your music immensely, Jonathan, when driving." Isn't that lovely? And that was lovely to hear from you, Arnold, and I hope you're listening anyway, and Fiona, and that you're enjoying the show so far. And
before you whiz on, I think that song is really good for a number of people.
Go,
and
Susan.
So I think, in particular, I'd like to remember Mark Borisov's brother-in-law, who is 81 tomorrow. That's John. We've met John. And John, we're thinking of you because tomorrow is your birthday. You're 81, but your wife Mel is still in hospital and still very poorly. So, and it's hard because it's your first birthday when you're not going to be able to be with Mel. So,
can I just read something from Mark?
You can.
He wrote to me earlier today. And so he said, "I received this message from my sister, Mel, who has been in hospital a month tomorrow, and she said that she's starting eating again now, and hopefully be home again sometime this coming week." So
excellent.
Yes, she said, "I had cornflakes for breakfast, cheese and onion pasty, beans and yogurt." It's a mix I don't even want to see on a plate. I think I'm confused, but never mind. I'm sure you didn't have cheese and onion pasty for breakfast.
That's good news.
But whatever you had, whether you had cheese and onion onion pasty and beans. Don't put the yogurt in with the beans. It doesn't look good. Anyway, it's lovely that you and Hayley and Mark have been thinking about you all the time.
All the time, yeah.
And we send our big love out to you across the airways. And this show has always been, those of you who don't know, because I think some of you are coming in new to it, and it's been here for nearly 6 years now, coming up
next
April
month it'll be
the
6
5th.
years.
6th. How did that happen? 6 years. Goodness gracious me, that means we've
Tell
had
me
the
about
kid.
it.
Is it, sorry?
Tell me about it. It's exactly 6 years.
Is it 6
this
years
year.
starting what on the 6th?
No, 5th of April. Exactly 6 years ago.
Are we doing a show that night?
I haven't got the dates yet,
All right.
but I am around.
You are around. Well, if we're here, then we shall do a show. We can't not do a show doing 6 years. I didn't think I'd be alive in 6 years after that moment.
Oh, that's right.
You think, actually, if you hadn't given me the kidney, that's what she did, you see, guys. If you didn't know, she gave me one of her kidneys. And I said, when I'm dead, I will give her my brain because
And she said she doesn't want it.
So you need it.
I
my
don't
love.
need it.
You need my brain. You need my initiative, my strength, my drive, my talent. Think of that.
That's it. You are so
could
close to
have
getting
my
a
talent,
third
Sue.
test card.
Right?
What?
You could have my talent, my love. I'm just saying.
That's it. Third test card.
Right. What's this one?
Go to the rock.
Sorry? What is
Go
it?
to the rock.
Wh-
Wherever I go.
I don't even remember this one. She doesn't. If I did 3 test cards, it'd do a song that I can't remember. I go to the rock, isn't it? Oh yes. I just haven't done this one for ages. Where do I go when there's nobody else to turn to? Who do I cling to when there's nobody else to listen? Who do I lean on when there's no foundation stable? I go to the rock. I know he is able. I go to the rock. I go to the rock for my salvation. I go to the stone that the builders rejected. I run to the mountain, and the mountain stands by me. When all around me down is sinking sand, on Christ the solid rock I stand. When I need a shelter, I don't know the words, go to the rock.
Well, you're on your own, mate. I've got them.
Where do I go when the night off? Who do I come to? Thank you for this. When the winds of sorrow blow, is there a refuge? In the time of tribulation, I go to the rock. I know he is able. I go to the rock. Thank goodness the chorus. I go to the rock for my salvation. I go to the stone that the builders rejected. I run to the mountain, and the mountain stands by me. When all around and down is sinking sand, on Christ the solid rock I stand. When I need a shelter, I go to the rock. Oh my goodness. Thanks for this.
I'll teach you to misbehave, won't it?
Ooh, need a shelter. I need a shelter. And I need a shelter. Rock. When I need a shelter. Go to the rocks, let me go. I go to the rock for my salvation. I go to the stone that the builders rejected. I run to the mountain, and the mountain stands by me. When all around the pound is sinking sand, on Christ the solid rock I stand. When I need a shelter, when I need a shelter, when I need a shelter, I go to the rock. I go to the rock. 25 years it's been since I sung this one. That's for this. Oh, I need a shelter. That's when I go to the rock.
Thank you, Rachel. That was a great one.
Thank you for that, Rachel. Now,
I think I've seen it all now.
What?
Sorry?
I'm sat in your studio listening to a singer who I've admired for years.
Yeah,
and you're looking around thinking, what am I doing? What am I singing? And do I even know the words? And guys, he's literally on his iPad banging away trying to get the words up because he doesn't know what he's doing. It's awesome.
Thank you,
The funny
thank
thing
you.
is, Keith, the funny thing is that
thank you
he's
for
got...
coming and being a guest. And it's been lovely having Keith in as a guest
The
tonight.
thing
off
is,
now.
Keith, it's, he's got people actually saying, I know this song better than JV does.
Yeah, they do. Because
Some have never seen
when you
them.
record something, what happens to it? Okay, you do it, you record it, and I've recorded. How many songs have I recorded? On?
150 odd.
Thank you,
Right, she's
Rachel.
got-
And I'm working my way through each one to get all the lyrics.
So she's doing this, and suddenly she'll throw up. This was recorded. When was this? So it was.
This was
This was Pilgrim, wasn't it?
Was it Pilgrim? No, travelling songs.
yes.
Travelling songs. Great album that nobody bought. That was it. Fantastic. It was a great. I loved
Yep,
it.
travelling songs.
That's why Rachel knows it, because she used to travel backwards and forwards to the hospital.
It's one of the very famous one. It used to be, why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Oh, why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven at home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. Oh,
I know this. It's incredible.
I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye is on that little sparrow, and I know He watches. I know He watches. Yes, I know He watches you and me. And that's the song from the album that became the one that was well known. And that was in Sister Act 2, if you remember, in the film.
Absolutely.
But it's one of those special songs to people out there. And I sing that actually to an awful lot of people out there, particularly to Dan Bellum, if he's still watching.
He's gone to bed.
He's skadiddled. But
for Lee and for Lynn
and also
and
for
P and Rachel.
P and Rachel.
Absolutely.
I hope you're watching tonight.
They are.
And P and Rachel have been these people that have remained in this community who are the most faithful people to the community, but have gone through so much, Keith, and gone through so much adversity. I mean, you've had an awful lot of your life, haven't you, in dealing with people, having to stand by people who've been through a lot of adversity. Is that a difficult job? We'll get into the details of it, but
I don't think I'd see it as a difficult job. I'd see it as an absolute privilege, actually. I think you, as a Christian, you have to get your head around the fact that we're not responsible for pain, but we can be responsible in helping people with their pain.
yes.
And how did I end up becoming like this? This is going to be sounding a horrible story, but when I was working in paediatrics many, many years ago, back in, probably 1982, 83, I was looking after a 2-year-old child who'd been thrown headfirst into a brick wall by a father in a domestic dispute with mother. And I was caring for this child. And this is before the Children's Act, and we had sort of child safety, can you imagine? And we'd only just started to use the term child abuse. Before that, we used the term non-accidental injury.
Oh, is that right?
Absolutely. The term child abuse didn't actually even come into our common parlance until 1980. Until then, it was a non-accidental injury. And the mother and the child were on the ward, and the boyfriend's family came along to finish off the job, and I remember having to go into a lift.
Seriously?
Absolutely. I went into a lift with this 2-year-old child and locked the lift doors between 2 floors whilst we decided what we could do, because there was no place of safety sort of situations in those days.
They were coming to...
Absolutely. Finish it off.
Why?
It was just a domestic argument, and a bit of a fight going on between mum and dad. And I remember at that time sort of reflecting and thinking, gosh, what is this all about? And thinking, well, I can't always stop these things, but I can be the hands and the feet and the eyes and the ears of God and be there to try and make a difference. And whether I've been dealing with immense pain, immense suffering, and boy, I've been in some of the most difficult, dark places. My wife often says, I look for the biggest mess and get my hands up to my armpits in it and try and sort things out.
So you want to get it fixed.
Fixed, changed, or just sometimes to be available. And it's about how can I best, as someone who has a faith in the Lord Jesus, make a difference in those most difficult and complex of situations. And I am thrilled that my journey over 50 years of being a Christian has been about being in those places of despair, being in those places where people often don't have hope, and trying to provide hope and trying to provide solace. Because fundamentally, my faith, our faith, is about a Jesus who gives us hope. And I think we could usefully do that a lot more in the world that we live in today. The world needs hope. It needs hope more than anything at the moment in this world that we're living in. People lack hope. They lack a sense of purpose. And our faith is all about purpose. And it's all about a living hope.
Well, that leads nicely on to my next song. I was clearing my mother's place out again this last week. And my goodness, don't we collect a lot of rubbish in our lives? I genuinely fear for our children having to move us out of our house. We had the loft cleared, Keith, which was going to be bequeath all of that to my children. Just going to give it to them. But we had it cleared so we could put a lot of insulation. And thank you, Al, who came and did that for us, who I sung the love song for. And we got everything out of the loft, put it down on the front drive, and it was 3 carloads. And my children, 2 of them, came down. They whipped it all out. We thought we'd put all the stuff up there in the hope that maybe they might want the cot, the brand new cot that we'd bought. And that you've got to be joking. And it all came down, all out on the drive, covered the drive. And I said, do you fancy any of this? I wouldn't have thought so. And that was that. They were gone. And I piled it into the car and threw it all away. A lifetime's stuff. Essays from university,
We've all got them, haven't we?
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
notes,
Yeah.
we keep them just in
Just
case.
in case.
In case of what?
Well, Sue, what was your final dissertation on? Come on. It's the, get the
It was
title
about
was.
beta-galactosidase and isolation of beta-galactosidase.
Right,
I
there
can
was
barely
it.
say it now,
but-
let alone
Is that
write a
Star
whole
Wars?
dissertation on it.
And did they win? But all my stuff, all my essays, my English essays on the Romantics, all the stuff I had to do, that's I can't think of it now. And but the music I've just carried on behind me. But thank the Lord, Elaine came and all this is my life, you see, my life in performing, all of that, and then the listening, and I can't throw stuff away. I came back with an armful, having said I'm not doing any more stuff from Mum's house. That's it. I've got the rug from her lounge. That's what we've got. That and a few bits and pieces. I got a torch the other day as well. That pleased me. I know. Sorry.
Where are we going with this?
Yeah,
Oh,
well, now,
don't ask.
The thing is
Don't ask.
that then I came across a CD, and on that CD, it's this CD here, and it's the Passing the Baton, Billy Graham Passing the Baton, and it was an event at the Royal Albert Hall, and I was going to be singing there anyway, doing How Great Thou Art, something else and something else. And then they phoned up the night before and they said, oh, we'd like to, George Beverly Shea has broken his hip on the tarmac in the States. Could you sing I'd Rather Have Jesus Than Silver or Gold? And I said, well, look, I don't really know it. I've never ever sung it. Didn't know it from that, really. Just I happened to have seen it. I remembered it being in my dad's on the piano at home, back home when I was a boy, and it was the Billy Graham songbook, right, with the guard, the changing of the guard on the front, and in that book was "I'd rather have Jesus" and "Blessed Assurance." Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. For what a foretaste of glory divine. Etc. And all the stuff from Haringey and Wembley, all those days back in the 50s. So I said, well, I'll have a look at it, and I'll let you know. You know, so I just phoned them back and said, look, it seems fairly simple. I'll just learn it. Have you got somebody playing the piano? Otherwise, I'll play the piano. They said, oh, yes. John Ing is playing it. He's well-known Billy Graham pianist. So I said, okay. So I went and played this, and I had no idea until I got to my mum and dad's that they'd made a CD of the event and they sold it as merchandise. Well, as a singer, they should have asked me permission if I could go out there. And I hadn't heard any of this. And we put this on, didn't we? And we did. We put "I'd Rather Have Jesus" on, and we both had serious tears.
It was very emotional.
23, 25 years ago this was. And I still feel the same when you sing this song, and it still moves me even now when I hear it and when I sing it. And so I thought, you know what? Why not I do it?
Are you not doing it to the track?
Sorry?
Not doing it to the track?
No.
Okay.
I'd rather have Jesus than silver or gold. I'd rather be his than have riches untold. I'd rather have Jesus than houses on land. I'd rather be led by his nail-pierced hands than to be the king of a vast domain, or be held in sin's dread sway. Yes, I'd rather have Jesus than anything this world affords today. I'd rather have Jesus than men's applause. I'd rather be faithful to his dear cause. I'd rather have Jesus than worldwide fame. I'd rather be true to his holy name than to be the king of a vast domain, or be held in sin's dread sway. I'd rather have Jesus than anything this world affords today. Well, he is fairer than lilies of rarest bloom. He's sweeter than honey from out the comb. He's all that my hungering spirit needs. I'd rather have Jesus and let him lead. than to be the king of a vast domain, or be held in sin's dread sway. Yes, I'd rather have Jesus than anything this world affords today. That's 1924, that song was written. And he sung it all the way through his life. And I think actually that it fits the kind of that what the world needs is hope. What the world needs, as we see in an increasingly downward spiral. I don't think that's politically irresponsible to say. And I think you read the news like everybody else does, and we see the spiral is downward, and what the world is looking for. I think this quiet revival is about this. I mean, what's your feeling about this?
I'm sure that's true, isn't it? We've, for years, almost wanted to dismiss the need for God. As human beings, we thought we were secure and safe. And we had this kind of notion that science had disproved God. Certainly 20 years ago, that was the case, wasn't it? You know, science, we don't need
The myth of God incarnate.
Absolutely. Whereas now, interestingly enough, we're starting to recognise that quantum physics, my son is a physicist, he describes how in quantum physics, you know that an electron can have a relationship with another electron 20,000 miles away. And we don't know what the force is between the electrons. But when you start to do the physics on that, I tell you, prayer becomes quite straightforward.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
when you start to think about these sorts of things.
Yeah.
There's a thing in the in the Alpha course based on Genesis chapter 1 verse 5, and he made the stars.
Yes.
The question often is, are there more stars in the known universe or grains of sand on the earth? The answer is there's more stars in the universe. But interestingly enough, that's the same number of atoms, hydrogen and oxygen atoms, in 5 drops of water. And you think that we're now working at an atomic scale and atomic level in quantum physics. And we're starting to recognize that there are forces that we really don't. There must be a God. And serious physicists, very serious physicists, now are all saying, well, there must be some sort of creative force. Whether they recognize it is the God that we understand or not, you're right. The quiet revival is coming about because we're recognizing as humanity we're lacking hope. We're recognizing that there are forces we don't understand, that there's newness out there, and people are starting to think there must be something bigger, there must be something else. And we need to speak into that.
Yeah.
And we need to start to say, we know where hope can be found.
I think, and it's not arrogance, it's humility.
Absolutely.
But we say it without apology. I think that's you know, in my old age, and you know, you're older than I am, I think, although you look a lot younger than me. That in my shows, I'm much more bold to state my faith. I used to be a little bit more kind of, you know, in my operatic days, I would go, well, you know, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. And I'd say, I did not, and in the days of Songs of Praise, when I was doing huge amounts of religious broadcasting, I would hold it back a bit. But these days, I feel more.
But our faith needs to be not about being aggressive with our faith. Surely, fundamentally, our Christian faith is about love and hope. And I think today more than ever, we need to recognize that, you know, Jesus taught us the parable of the Good Samaritan, not to kind of remind us a couple of people walked by and somebody else, a Samaritan, came along and helped the person that was injured. He taught us the parable of the Good Samaritan to remind us who our neighbours are. And our neighbours are everybody, including people that are not like us.
Yes.
are not the same as us.
Particularly those.
That was the whole purpose of the whole parable. And therefore, I think in our boldness, it's our boldness to proclaim love and compassion.
Yeah.
And if we do that more, if we are people of love and compassion, in a world that's broken and hurting, there is a response. The world responds. The number of times people have come to me without me declaring my faith, but the questions often go, what drives you, Keith? What makes you want to work in these complex and difficult areas? How do you do it? And so it's about my faith. What do you mean about your faith? Well, my sense of calling. My sense of calling from God is to work with the marginalized and the poor. And it's about loving. And that's the way in. And if we can just do more of that as Christians, I think the world will switch.
It would make things that look different. You know, there's that old Porter song that I know, Gregory Porter, and it's a beautiful song. I'm going to sing a little bit of it, and it
says
taps into that theme. And it came about when I was in a car about to go and do a show somewhere in Chelmsford, I think it was, and I heard this song, and for some reason I'd never come across. And you know Greg Porter, very famous jazz black singer, and came from the gospel tradition and Christian quite clearly. And he sings this song, and it's about the time of the Jubilee.
It was the Queen's golden, platinum, whatever. It was her big celebration before she died. And we were in the car, and we thought, we haven't heard a lot of Gregory Porter, so he sat and listened to it all. And of course, all the streets were lined with flags, and it was all about the Queen, and it was all about celebrating the Queen. And so this came on, and it was so apposite that we felt God was speaking to us through it.
And actually, for so many of our friends, we think particularly of Adrian and Nicola over in the Isle of Wight, who were serving in that community.
Yeah.
And what she was called to. And I remember going to the ordination, and it says in the licensing that she was licensed particularly to go and seek out, I love this line, to seek out the disadvantaged, to seek out those.
The lost and the poor.
The lost and the poor. And that was her job. It was not to service the local civic, the mayor and all the offices and the deputy sheriff and all of that stuff. It was actually to seek out the poor. And this is what they do. And their heart is there, and their work is there over there. And we sing this for them too. But just highlights exactly what you were saying. It goes, well, they gild their houses in preparation for the king, and they line the sidewalks with every sort of shiny thing. They will be surprised when they hear him say, take me to the alley, take me to the afflicted ones, take me to the lonely ones that somehow lost their way. Let them hear me say, I am your friend. Come to my table, rest here in my garden. You will have a pardon. Take me to the alley, take me to the afflicted ones, take me to the lonely ones who somehow lost their way. Let me hear them say, Come to my table, rest here in my garden. You will have a pardon, oh, you will have a pardon. Come to my table, you will have a pardon. I am your friend. Come to my table, you are my friend. And I want to say to you, if you're feeling a bit weary after caring for people, after showing the love of Jesus, come to my table. And the wonderful thing in the Bible, it talks constantly about eating. Jesus ate with people. He ate and he shared food with people. You think of everything, you then think of the Last Supper. It was all about food. And I love the fact that the simple things that we can do, we can share food with people and say, come to my table, I am your friend. And it's just a wonderful thing that the king says that. The king says that. It's not his minions, but the king comes to the alley.
And it is that sharing, Jonathan, isn't it? I mean, one of the greatest needs in our society, for all that we have today, it's loneliness. People are lonely up and down the land. And we can just be friends. We can share the love. We can share that table. We can share that communion in different ways with people. One of the things we might talk about later is that I've been leading for a number of years now the National Research into Fraud and Scams. And
Such an interesting part of your life, isn't it?
Absolutely. And a few years ago, I was particularly looking at the impact of telephone scams. And it was clear that criminals were targeting lonely older people because they were more likely to be victims. And it's a horrible phrase, this, but criminal gangs were selling what they called suckers lists. And a suckers list was a list of names and addresses and telephone numbers of vulnerable older people. And so much so, we got a large government grant to plug in telephone call blocking technology into people's homes where they'd been victims of telephone scams before. And my research team's job was to do a well-being check to see what difference these telephone call blockers made to people's lives when they screened out all these criminals trying to defraud them of their life savings. And it was one of the most difficult bits of research we've ever had to do for this reason. Many of these lonely older people who'd been getting 5, 10, 20 phone calls from criminals a week suddenly got none. And they disconnected the call blocking technology
Because they wanted to talk.
because they would rather have a criminal speak to them than nobody. And it ruined the research. But it is a reminder to me, boy, church, you don't need much of a mission strategy or evangelism strategy.
It's
Just go out there and befriend these lonely people who would rather speak to a criminal and lose their life savings than have nobody to speak to. Surely your friendly face from the church is more than that. It's simply go out. Let's think about loneliness. Let's think about how we as Christians can make a difference in that world, in that space.
That is, we'll dig down into this.
That's incredible.
Really interesting, isn't it? And the truth behind research is often is what one's after. You're after the surprising things that come as a result of what you're not looking for.
Absolutely right.
And that's the most interesting part of the research, or the disturbing part. And I think this show has always stood as a signpost for the lonely. It's always been that. This has turned into something that we didn't think it would be, ever. And I think one of the reasons that it won the community, I know it, but when it won the BBC Award, was because it was a community thing, that we set it up at no cost to people. They could just tune in. And it didn't matter who they were, didn't matter what they were, literally faith, no faith, Gay, straight, didn't matter if they're black, white, pink, yellow, or purple. They could always tune in to this show, and they knew that they were welcome. And even though it has quite heavy at times Christian overtones, sometimes it doesn't. Next week we're doing an opera evening, and we're just going to do a whole evening of classical music and stuff. And you're going to love it. Lovely 8 or 9 people coming in to sing for you, and you're going to have a wonderful evening in here next week. With Sue Legg on the piano again, and me playing as well. So it's going to be quite an evening. But tonight, what we're doing is, and I think we're hitting a spot with people. And if you have any questions that you wish to ask Professor Keith Brown, and he is a professor, we do as a visiting lecturer, emeritus professor now at Bournemouth University, and you spent many years there. We'll discuss that in a second. Before we come back to you, Sue, I think we need to get some adverts and things out of the way. We need to talk about Thornley.
We do. We do.
And have you had any more contact? It's full now, isn't it? Pretty much.
It's not quite full.
Oh.
No, there are still some. Still
I thought you
some
said there
rooms.
were only
No,
2.
only a few, but it's not full.
Oh.
Yes, looking ahead, we've got Thornley, which I'll come back to in a second, but we've got 5 days with Jonathan in North Wales at Beechwood Court in Conwy. Fabulous area, and it's very relaxed. You just have something to do in the morning.
And I can't wait to see what I'm going to say, because I have no idea yet. But there
You'll
will
be
be a theme for the week.
You'll be inspired and you'll be inspiring.
And it might be based on loneliness, maybe.
And then in the evening it will be sort of whatever Jonathan feels inspired to do, but giving you the daytime to go out and explore the beautiful area. So it's a lovely place to go for a break, beautiful place to go for a break, and at the same time have Jonathan's company, which is marvellous.
And Sue, your company too, my darling.
And then on the 26th of June, we are at Avenue Baptist in Westcliff-on-Sea. We're beginning to crank up on that one. We're beginning to get publicity going on that one. So if you are in the area of Westcliff-on-Sea, then that's Westcliff without the E. I think I've spelled it wrong on the website. But that's going to be a lovely event to come to. Then we are doing our week at Thornley from the 25th of July to the 1st of August. JV Music Week, sort of, but again, whatever he feels prompted to do. And then on the 31st of October, we're at Methodist, Offington Park Methodist in Worthing. Worthing people, get your tickets for that when they come out. If you wish to know anything about these concerts, you need to go to the jonathanveira.com website, and you need to have a look at that. And if you want to talk to me, then, I seem to have all kinds of things going on here. Sorry, Rachel, I got a bit confused here. And please, thank you, whatever, I don't mind, whatever you give me.
Sorry.
That's all right. So if you wish to speak to me, it's sue@jonathanveira.com as ever. If you want to ask me questions, if you want to put on a show, whatever, that would be great. Now, if you want to put that one on Rachel Bat Steinway dates, that's great. So next week we've got, as Jonathan said, the opera evening with the students from Churches University. Wonderful young people, and you enjoyed it so much last time. This is backed by popular appeal, and there'll be some singing together, some singing solos, and it'll be fantastic. 29th of March, the end of this month, we have Sue Rinaldi coming into the Steinway room. And if you wish to be in the live audience as opposed to in the dead audience, then come and join us and tell me if you want to be in the audience. And it would be lovely to have you in
so
here.
Far we've got 4 or 6.
We've got
so
about
we'd like
6
another
people,
couple,
another couple of people.
2 or 4 people would be great.
Yeah.
Sue is a lovely lady and with so much to say, and really worth it. If you fancy coming over and spending the evening with us, we'll give you tea as well, and the lovely Elaine will provide the tea. It's a real great time to get together, and I know she'll be delighted to be seeing you and chatting with you as well.
Yep. And our lovely weekend at Thornley is coming up Friday the 24th of April to Sunday the 26th of April, or you can stay till the Monday.
Rachel.
I think most people are. So
Yes.
if you would like
Faithful.
to come, it would be wonderful.
end.
And this is how you register with it. You just go on to either the QR code that's on the screen, or you go directly to Thornley and say, I want to come to Jonathan's weekend, and they will let you know what rooms are available and how to pay for it, etc. So if you are thinking of coming, Don't leave it much longer
No, because
because
I
the
think there were
spaces are
2
filling
rooms
up.
left.
The spaces are filling up, so please don't
lovely
miss
to have
out.
all
We
of
would
you there.
love to see you. Love to spend the weekend with you up there. It's going to be wonderful. Jonathan, Got a Friend Trust is in front of you.
Thank you. And over to the charity. And this leads us to say, what can we do for you? Or what you can do for another friend in recommending them for this. Remember that the trust exists for you. It is funded by you. And every now and again, we that reminds me, we owe them some money from last week, Sue, to be put into the trust. And so it is fed, dripped in. Some people give a lot, some people give a little. But our trustees, our faithful trustees, remember, take nothing from this. It's run by, you can know, a judge, an ex-accountant, an ex-vicar, and who else? A leader of retail from Debenhams onward, and they know how to help you get what you require, whether it's a washing machine, a dishwasher, a bed, or whatever it is that you require. We can't pay your mortgage for you, but what we can do is just help you, an arm around you, and say, we love you, and let us help you a bit. Do not be frightened to come to us. If you feel you can't go directly to Adrian, then come to myself or to Sue, and we will front that up for you. They'll ask you some questions because they have to, for legal reasons, to make sure that you're not taking the money to go and play it on the casino, because we don't give money for casinos. I'm just telling you that right now. But apart from that, if you need help, then let this be the week that you ask. And if you know somebody who you think might need the help, it exists. The money, we try and keep the money just flowing through. There's no big contingency. We don't keep a contingency fund. It's through flowing. And so as people need, so it is, okay? And so many people have been helped over these 6 years with various items, as I've said. So please do that. And if you feel like you want to give to that charity to keep it flowing, then please do so. The information is on the screen. You can just either do it as a single donation, or you can do it on a standing order. Right, I think let's sing this one, and then we're gonna have one video, and then we're going to go straight into talking to. We've been chatting for a lot already, which is lovely.
I was going to say,
into Keith, and just delving a little bit more deeply into him and what he was all about. Because trust me, there's an awful lot about him. Just go online and you can find it. But here we go, Faithful, and this one is
It's for Brenda, dear Brenda, who usually comes to Thornley, and she's having surgery this coming Thursday on her spine. So prayers for you, my dear, and. You've got a lovely new neurologist that you trust, so that's lovely. So this one is for you.
And this one is from the album Pilgrim, I think.
It is.
Way back when. Written by Chris Eaton. Written for me, actually, at that time, which was quite lovely. I find no hope within to call my own, for I am frail of heart. My strength is gone. But deep within my soul is rising up a song, here in the comfort of the faithful one. I walk a narrow road through valleys deep, in search of higher ground on mountains steep. And though with feet unsure, I still keep pressing on, for I am guided by the faithful one. Faithful to the end, my true and precious friend. You have been faithful, so faithful to me. Lovely, playing from Bryn Howarth on the slide guitar. Beautiful verses. I see your wounded hands, I touch your side, thorns upon your brow, you bled and died. But there's an empty tomb, a love for all who come and give their hearts to you, the faithful one. Faithful, you're faithful to the end, my true and precious friend. You have been faithful, so faithful, so faithful to me. Starry sky shines on me, an everlasting hope of liberty. And when the day's done and when the race is run, I will bow down before God's only Son, and I will lift my hands in praise for all you've done, and I will worship you, my faithful one. Faithful, faithful to the end, my true and precious friend. You have been faithful, faithful, so faithful to you. And now, in a little video from a little guy we had in a few weeks ago. Enjoy this. Pete. Well, so I'm on now. This is what's called technical issues.
Run down the length of the Steinway Hall.
I have.
And he's sitting opposite.
That's about 7 feet.
Sorry about that.
Don't,
No.
don't destroy the illusion, Keith. They think it's vast. Okay? Hey, you have to see the room we're in before.
Oh, right.
It was half this size.
Oh, half this size. Rachel, I can hear an echo on the on my speaker. Don't know what that's about. But
Right,
anyway. Guys.
So yes, the video
Keith.
doesn't work. So
Hello.
there we go. Carry
Hello
on.
to you.
We don't forget the video. Keith, you're a man of an extraordinary. You were born in Morecambe, but you moved fairly quickly. You said
Your father was in telecoms, is that right?
That's right. Yeah, my father was a line engineer. Meant he put telephone cables up and telegraph poles in the South Lake District. And
Well, hold on, just 1 second, Rachel. Rachel, didn't your dad do that as well? Didn't your dad? Wasn't your dad in telecommunications in BT?
there you go.
You see, new
Oh,
computers.
it's a small world.
It's a small world. Is that what you did in that? There's nothing else to do out there, just sheep and telephones.
Well, I'm not quite sure. I wasn't around at the time.
But what happened?
So my father and my mother decided in 1961 to move to Hong Kong. My dad got a secondment with a company called Cable and Wireless to help build the public telephone system in Hong Kong, because up till then it primarily been a military system. So they dragged me as a 1-year-old baby. In those days, it took over 2 days to fly in a Dakota airplane to fly to Hong Kong. My mother had never been further than Chorley in Lancashire.
That's a bit freaky,
brave,
isn't it?
absolutely. And then flew to Hong Kong, and we lived there for a number of years. And I grew up there as a child until 1969, and I came back to England. Now, of course, I didn't know England. I'd never really been here. I'd been here in 1966 for a short holiday. But in 1969, I turned up in this country, and I didn't even know. Can you imagine this? I didn't know as a boy that England had won the World Cup in 1966. It had passed me by. Football wasn't a thing in Hong Kong.
No, of course not. No.
And I really was a stranger in this land. So much so that my mother decided it would be a good idea to send me to Sunday school so that I could get to know English culture. Not quite sure about that.
Sunday school?
Through Sunday school.
Yeah, but 70s, it was a thing. Yeah, it was a thing.
And also get to know people. And I just want to make a shout out here. It was 1972. My Sunday school teachers took me in one of their cars to Liverpool docks to see the Doulos Bible ship.
Oh, my God. Oh, yes.
And George Veira was
George
speaking.
Veira. What year was that then?
1972.
I went in, must have gone in 6 years later.
And
oh, my goodness.
And I was there with a couple
Logos.
of friends, the Logos, that's right.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember standing up and giving my
your
life to the
Christ.
Lord.
Just pause. For those of you that don't know, Operation Mobilisation was run by a guy called George Veira. And George was famous, a famous preacher, wasn't he? He would
Absolutely.
say he didn't care about time, and he was famous for saying there would be people at the back pointing at their watches like this. There'd be 1,000 people in the tent.
Yep.
And he said, "I see somebody over there who wants to give their watch to world service. Fantastic! You just bring it up here, son. We'll sell it." And he would always, the one I remember of him was, "Get the blanket victory." That's what he used to say. Get up out of bed and get the blanket victory, young people. But he absolutely. So you gave your life to Christ in one of those meetings?
Yep, 1972, Liverpool docks.
12 years old.
Yeah, 12 years old. And it transformed my life. And I just want to say something here about anybody that's out there that's been a Sunday school teacher or is a Sunday school teacher and feels a bit, what's the point, a bit disheartened. You know, a Sunday school teacher took me from South Manchester to Liverpool in his car, and my life was transformed. Yeah. And let's be clear, anything we talk about from now on in this evening, anything I might have possibly achieved, I've achieved because a Sunday school teacher was faithful and faithfully took me, and I heard George Veira, and my life was transformed and changed from that moment onwards.
Faithful in the chain of events, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's actually knowing that where your place is in the chain, and that teacher will have no idea of where you have, how you've influenced national and international policy, no doubt,
absolutely,
as a result of what she did.
Yeah.
And that is so significant. I can't. It's almost that. Again, it's grain of sand stuff, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You think because what she did was of eternal use.
Yep.
That has made what you're doing now of eternal
And I just
use.
want to encourage anybody that's out there that's doing work like that. You might never know in your lifetime the impact that's had, but it can have the most profound impact.
No. You come back from Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
You've gone to Sunday school. You're imbibing the British culture via Sunday school.
Yeah.
Which is weird. How did Moses cross the Red Sea? I am HAPPY.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I remember all those songs.
Typical British culture.
Yeah.
Of that time.
Yeah.
Actually, British culture was slayed, and so this is Christmas and all of that stuff. But did that touch you at all? Did secular culture get a hold of you? Because I presume your family weren't Christian, or were they?
No,
Christian?
my family were not Christians. But what was touching me was the economic depression of the 1970s in the Northwest.
Yeah.
And, when I was 15, 16, there was a 3-year waiting list to become a postman.
Oh, my goodness.
The coal mines had gone, the steelworks had gone, the apprenticeships had gone. I was lucky. Because I'd had education in Hong Kong, which is slightly, in advance of English education in terms of progress, I managed to pass an 11 plus and go to a grammar school.
That was the key, wasn't it?
But the impact of seeing so much poverty meant that I can remember being a 15-year-old boy praying at the end of my bed, "Dear God, what would you want me to do with my life? What O-levels should I do? What A-levels should I do?" And feeling called then to work with the marginalised and the poor. And my whole career has been basically fulfilling that calling that I felt as a 15-year-old to spend my life working in the most complex and difficult areas to support the marginalised and the poor. And, sometimes people say to me, "Oh, it's easy for you, Keith. You can do these sorts of things because you're a professor and you run the National Centre and you're a government advisor." Well, I wasn't always.
No.
I was once a 15-year-old boy responding to a calling from God. And that took me on a journey. And that journey was sometimes hard work. It's a number of degrees. I've written 40-something books.
It's gone up from whatever it says on that then.
Yes, it has, yeah. I mean, you've written more LPs and more music than me.
True.
Mine was about writing and trying to influence things. But it's constantly been that journey of what can I do? How can I be? How can I serve the Lord in complexity? And it's taken me to some amazing places.
Let's just dwell on that little phrase. How can I serve the Lord in complexity? Just unpack that a little for us.
I think my DNA is made up that I enjoy challenge. And so I will gravitate towards the most complex and difficult problems. Because I don't want this to sound arrogant, but just like I was listening to some of your songs, my faith is based on being built on a solid rock. And I have confidence in that rock. And I believe that with God, anything can be achieved. And so I look for the complexity and the difficult and the frankly scary sometimes with a sure hope and a sure certainty that a faithful God, as you were singing earlier on about faithful, will take you through into some amazing places. And I look back in my lifetime up to now, I think it's amazing how God has gone ahead, God has prepared, God has sorted situations out. And how did I end up doing this? But God's there. But it's the faithful study, work, perspiration. And I want to say that we need to persuade the next generation of young people.
Definitely.
If God is calling you, find out what God is calling you to and persevere at it. Don't play act at it. If you want to help in any situation, don't do it as a useful amateur volunteer. Get good at it.
Yeah.
Get skilled at it. Get trusted. I think I've always tried to be, I describe myself now as a leader who's a Christian, not a Christian leader. I want to be known for excellence. I want to be asked to sort out complexity and complex problems, not because I'm a Christian, but because I'm someone who I'm trusted and people have confidence that I can make a difference there. And through that, then share my faith. And through doing things well, people seeing godliness, rather than going in believing I've got the right to say something simply because I'm a Christian.
I like this. It's a great answer, and I totally still know identify with this within my own career. I always found that if things went wrong, I preferred it almost, because then I could find a way out in performance. When the show stopped in the middle, so many times either the whole hydraulic system stopped working at Glyndebourne, or the whole of the electricity system went out in Norway, and so I had to go out and perform for an hour and a half with no lights, with just mag lights being shone down, and actually changing the atmosphere, changing the story, changing then, more importantly, the narrative. Which the story is one thing, the narrative underlying that, and which I think that for you seems to be, and everything I read about you and I've got to know about you, it's about changing the narrative, isn't it? So that what really drives this is what matters.
Absolutely. Go back to something I spoke about a few minutes ago. The parable of the Good Samaritan is all about changing the narrative. It's about saying all people are our neighbours. We must love all people. How can we do that? How should we do that? How might we do that? And I think I've just had a sense from God, how can we try and tackle complexity? How can we try and help people's marginalised voices be heard? So in recent years, we've thought much more about coercion. The word coercion and coercive control wasn't even on the agenda 10 or 15 years ago. Domestic violence, if
Restored all this, the charity that we've been working with before.
So there's an example, a restored Christian charity working in that area. But I've been able to work with chief constables, politicians, writing government policy, challenging behaviours in these sorts of areas, was instrumental in writing parts of the Code of Practice on the Mental Capacity Act, which is...
that interested me. So the Mental Capacity Act, which, Mental Capacity Act, within particular relation to the COVID, and what that interested me. My ears pricked up, and I thought, hello. That must have been very interesting, because you have an ethical base. You're working from really all about ethics, and they threw the bodies over, as they said that Johnson was throwing the bodies over the wall back into the hospitals to die, and that terrible thing that happened. Did you get involved before that, or at that point?
So COVID, I think, brought this about this evening. You guys thought, what are we going to do in COVID? I just retired and was looking to some new things, and COVID occurred. So I was asked to chair the NHS England National Safeguarding Board. I was involved in the COVID...
That's retirement.
I was involved in the COVID team. And I took it upon myself, because if you remember at the time, there was things called blanket do not resuscitate notices occurring in care homes, which is illegal. It's illegal under the Act, because I'd been involved in writing part of the Code of Practice for the Act. So we had to write to the Secretary of State and say, this is illegal, you're not allowed to do this.
Dear Matt.
Yes, it was, and it was Matt. And within 48 hours...
rescinded.
It was all turned over, and he got up a number 10 briefing that they had every night and said, we're not going to be doing this anymore, because it was about reminding people of basic law and basic rights. And it was brilliant to see how God had placed me in that position and that situation where we could defend and protect people.
The defenceless,
some of the most defenseless people in their very last stages of life in care homes that were just being allowed to die
Yeah.
simply because nobody was going to go in there. And to say, this is not right, it's not right, it's actually not even legal, and it was stopped.
So, can I ask you, just as a matter of detail, so was it because we couldn't go in? We had Sue's mother in one home. My parents were actually still living together, but Sue's mother was in a home we couldn't get into, and because we couldn't get into, we had no idea what was going on there. We had no idea what the trust had agreed or what the charity was doing. So are you saying that they had made a decision that the DNRs were going, a blanket DNR was going on over once they got the virus?
So what was happening was most care homes and nursing homes have a GP practice attached to them.
Yeah.
And rather than the GPs going in, they were just saying, blanket, do not resuscitate on everybody.
So that was coming from the GPs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So you were able, and this Sunday school teacher, just I'm going to keep going back to her, you were able and equipped, you were skilled up. Mm-hmm. I'm just picking up all the things that you said, to be able to go in and with authority, because you knew the act.
Yeah.
And you saw what was going on at first hand, or did you hear what was going on at first hand?
Both. And I was also chairing the NHS National Safeguarding Board. So it was like, you can't do this, guys, please stop. And they have to listen, because I was given the responsibility to be doing that.
And the legislation was the legislation.
Yeah, yeah.
See, it's so interesting. So you were then speaking truth to power.
Yeah, and I'd started that kind of journey of trying to speak truth into power even earlier. My mother, back in 2013, was scammed a few times with the fraud bit. Yeah. And she had early stage dementia, and a classic victim, didn't even know sometimes she was being scammed. And she died in 2015. And at her funeral, I pledged to change the financial situation for victims of fraud and scams. And I wrote the first parliamentary report on fraud and scams later that year, 2015, and a couple of other things since. And it took nearly 10 years, but you hopefully will realise that last October in 2025, the banking system was changed with something called the banking protocol.
Yes.
When you can now get back £85,000
incredible
of your money back. And it took me 10 years to achieve that.
And that was you.
And that was me. Yeah, it started.
Right, everybody, stop a minute. Right. I want everybody out there, okay, to give this man a lot of hearts. Hearts, smiles, put them on the screen now. I want to see them. And I want loads of them, because this man has done the work that we wish we could have done. He's done the work through hard work and determination. And thank you to that Sunday school teacher for keep coming back to her putting that passion on your heart. And I speak now to friends out there, Nicola. You see, passion is what it achieves, and that's the difference. That's what happens, and that's what you're doing. You and Adrian out there are changing lives, and many people are. I know the time goes on. You had achieved an awful lot. You were a lecturer, a professor at the Bournemouth University, primarily teaching what?
So I went there having been a senior manager in social work, because I realised as a very senior manager there was a limit to how much you could change things. So I went into academia to try and train the next generation of social workers. Because I believe that's a profession where fundamentally we work with some of the most marginalised people in society. And after a number of years, I started to predominantly do postgraduate work with qualified workers.
Right.
And so I was involved
at master's level.
So basically doing sort of like CPD work with experienced workers, doing advanced child protection work, advanced mental health work, end of life care. And nearly 20 years ago, the Social Work Council bestowed on me and my team national centre status.
Yes.
So
very important. Isn't it?
So every major subject area has a national centre, and we became the National Centre for Social Work, which meant that we did lots of government inquiries.
Right.
And for example, in the space of 10 years, there are about 80,000 registered social workers in the country, and we must have trained 25,000 of them. So we'd impacted over a quarter of the workforce in the country.
Yeah.
And I was able to impart my values and my beliefs into what we did, how we did it, and what we were saying to protect the most vulnerable in our society. And that growth and those opportunities enabled me to have that confidence to kind of move into and work into spaces where there's a problem. So another example was back to Morecambe Bay. Some of you will remember the Morecambe Bay cockle pickers problems. Yeah. And that produced something called
Chinese.
That's right,
fact,
Chinese.
It was outside the hotel where we stayed at Thornwood.
Is that right?
Yeah. You looked across, and there it was.
So this was a group of basically gang-mastered, laboured, abused people who were picking cockles, and they were killed with the tide. And
there's a boar tide on that particular part of the thing, and it
comes
came in
quickly.
and cut them off.
That's right, and they drowned. Yeah. And that caused the government to set up something called the Gangmaster Labour Abuse Authority, which meant that if you were using international workers in these areas, you had to register with the Gangmaster Labour Abuse Authority and abide by certain rules. But the scope of the legislation only covered cockle shell pickers, agricultural workers, florists, and people working in abattoirs. And more recently, I began to realise that the biggest area where we had this slave bondage type situation, modern slavery, was in the care sector.
Yes.
So a lot of people coming in, having their passports taken off them, and then working 100 hours and 150 hours in care homes and all these sorts of things. Can you imagine how exhausted these people must be? So I started another campaign with the government to say, you've got to extend the Gangmaster Labour Abuse Authority's powers to include health and social care. And for years I was getting no chance. And it was only with the change of government fairly recently last year, I got support from the government, and that's all happened.
That's all happening.
And it's making a major difference in the modern slavery arena.
Wow. I mean,
3.5 years.
These are things that you've done, and I think we always say when people come in here and they talk about these things, you're doing it on our behalf. What you're doing, what you've done, is like a Wilberforce of the past, and I will put it like this because I think it's necessary. I want to kind of round this argument up because I need to talk. We need to go home soon. Well, you're going home and we're staying here. But what people like Wilberforce and his like did is they took a situation, and with their slavery, they chipped away at it for hundreds of years. I mean, until eventually life was changed for slaves. But it took Christian people to stand up and to say, actually, we're here. How does it work with this? And I can ask the big question, do what American commentators do, talk a lot before they ask the question. But where you have a situation where the church is not the state. We don't live in the theocracy. We don't live in Iran, and hopefully, but the way it's going in America, it seems to be this kind of crowding around evangelical leaders, all crowding around. Then Lord hold his arms up in this war against Iran, likening him to Moses, and I'm sitting here, and I know, like many of you out there, but some are not. But I'm sitting here thinking, is this what the church has actually been aiming for in America? For a theocracy? Is that what they want? Is that what you believe that we should be, the government, or should we be looking in at the government and helping the government so it doesn't matter what colour the government is? What do you think? That's a big question, I know. But
it's such a big question. I have a really good answer, I hope, but I'm not sure how long I've got to answer it.
You answer it.
Quickly, or relatively quickly, I'd say this. the great Christian reformers of 1850 to 1910 in this country brought us education, brought us healthcare, brought us care for older people, to a point where, after the Second World War, Beveridge was talking about the welfare state. And the welfare state came about, a sense of cradle to grave, based on the work of Christians saying, these things are wrong, this is how we need to do it right, this is how we need to reform our society. I think post the Second World War, the church in this country then almost breathed a sigh of relief, thinking we've now got a welfare state that will cover us from cradle to grave, and it opened up the doors to worldwide mission.
Yes.
Soldiers, sailors and airmen had come back from the war, had seen the world, had seen places where the gospel wasn't, and it opened up a great new mission movement. 21st century, we're now in a place where our society and most societies are recognizing that the welfare state is not cradle to grave and all encompassing, and it's leaking all over the place. And for example, we have major issues that no government wants to tackle in terms of how we're going to fund social care for older people.
Down the road, kicked can.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to need another generation of Christian social reformers, because I don't think any politician at the moment knows where to go and what to do. And it requires us to say things like, we value life and sanctity of life and the importance of life.
Yes.
And that we need to value each other and to tackle loneliness and to tackle poverty. And I don't just mean economic poverty, but poverty of expectation,
Yes.
poverty of where one is in life. And we need authoritative Christian voices. Authoritative. Not just, I'm saying this because God says, not just saying this because I'm saying so because I'm a Christian, which is not wrong, but doesn't have the authority of, I'm a leading expert and this is why it makes sense. We need people with discipline to have studied, to understand, and to spend a lifetime earning the right to be heard, because you're trusted, because you make sense, because you've studied, because you've just made a difference and been proven to be trustworthy. We need Daniels. We need those modern Daniels.
Yes.
We need people who the state trusts. And that's been one of the most difficult things for me up until now, has been, how did I do my work without it being seen to me a Christian trying to, just preach? Goes back to a leader who's a Christian. So I wanted to be asked to do things because of my expertise, not because I was a Christian with expertise. And then that allowed the opportunity for people to understand later that I have a faith and that my faith's important. And more recently, I've started to move in the space of, how do I help the church with things like dealing with stress and burnout? There are far too many church leaders who are burning out.
In this diocese alone.
There are far too many situations where there's been inappropriate use of power and control. The abuse scandals, power scandals.
One after the other.
And I'm writing more and more in that space, bringing all those years of expertise and trying to say, look, I want to try and help you, the church, we the church, because I'm a part of the church, to do this better. And we've got to start understanding that for years we've had inappropriate coercive control and power issues within the church. Not always, but in some places. I think in particular, sometimes the way women have been treated is just not right.
Not right, okay.
International Women's Day today, I heard on the way up on Premier Praise, them talking about, Jesus at the well with the Samaritan woman. He was appropriate. He was gentle. He challenged that woman in an appropriate way without coercive control. And we just need another generation to rise up. So rather than as we've got in the White House at the moment, the leaders all praying for the president in those sorts of ways to raise that, I think we just need to be loving. We need to be godly. We need to be the hands and feet that Jesus would want us to be, and to be more Christ-like. And Christ was somebody who was fundamentally radical, wasn't he? He went into places where the Jews and the leaders of the time did not go. He spoke to the outcast. He spoke to women. He spoke to all sorts of groups of people that the powerful wouldn't do. And if we do that more, I think Christianity will just take off. We will be speaking to the lonely. We will be speaking to the marginalized, because lonely people and marginalized people aren't just economically poor. You can be extremely wealthy and lonely. You can be very successful and lonely. You can have all sorts of issues in your life. Look at the growth of mental health problems in our society, from young people through to older people.
Universities, I see it all the time.
Absolutely full of it. The world needs good news.
Can I ask you this? And we have to wind up now. I'm going to finish late, but I don't care about that. What I wanted to say was, as you were sitting here talking about this, it needs people who are going to inspire young people to do what you did, to become skilled up, to become the people that are the social reformers. Not necessarily politicians, people like Andy Flanagan, people who are, now he's on the left. I don't care whether he's on the left or the right. As you said to me earlier, it's not what the colour of their politics is. It's really, the rest is politics. It often shows me, the two of them talk avidly between us and argue. But there is debate, but they try and find somewhere where there is common ground. But I was just sitting here thinking, it needs somebody like you to start something, and a movement of social reformers, people that are going to change the world by doing their job well. Not just being good Christian people, but visiting the lonely. That's what we all can do. Those of you out there, that's what you can do. And very few people out there are called to be you or to be me, to be in public space. But they are called to their neighbours.
So we can all do the calling to the neighbours, but you're absolutely right. We need to be challenging the young people in our church to be clear what God is calling them to do. And there are too many people just follow the world. Let's go work in the city. Let's go and become lawyers. Let's go and become doctors. Well, it's nothing wrong with that. We need those people. This might be a bit shocking. I have been the only Christian professor of social work in this country for far too long. Now, I don't understand that, because fundamentally, that's about a profession of working with the most disadvantaged. And I'd have thought we'd be full of Christians. But actually, a lot of Christians think it's far too hard to work in that space because of all the issues about gender and racism and sex and all the rest of it. It's just a very difficult area.
Hard time,
so don't go there. Come on. Our God is bigger than that. Surely.
Vision.
We need to have people, we need to encourage people to say, we can change the world. We've got young people that are all interested in green issues, and that's good. There's nothing, I'm not anti-green issues and environmentalism. Why can't we have the same? Young people passionate and committed to saying, I'm going to commit my life to working to transform the communities and societies that I live in and are around me in all sorts of ways. if we start to get that from this new beginnings type thing, if we start to get that kind of motivation, that's how we're going to transform our society and our culture and our world. Because I think it's the only way our society and our culture and our world will be transformed, by godly people standing up. So that's a big challenge and a big task.
That was a very long, detailed answer and a fantastic answer. We're going to have to be back to discuss further, because I think we need vision. I think we need people like you with vision. We need people who are going to take things forward. Now, I would love to see you in a position where there was some kind of conference where you call people like you were called by George Veira in that time, and knowing then at 15 what you were literally what you were called to.
Do you know what's fascinating, Jonathan? I've spoken at major international and national conferences for governments with politicians.
Not in churches.
I have never spoken at a Christian event. I've never been invited or asked to speak.
Yeah, but can I just say to that, I don't care. I would never care about that. And it's something, as somebody who's been in that, okay, my thing is circumnavigate that, form your own, start it. No, how old are you now?
Oh, I'm 65.
That's right, you're same age as I am.
I know.
Same age as I am.
I've been here all evening thinking we are just such kindred brothers.
Same, we could be brothers from a different mother. But I think the passion that we share, actually, I would love to do something with you that actually starts to share. You know, one of the things, my passion, I'll tell you, is young people. I love my students. And I mean that. They all know. If any of them are watching, they know that I do love them genuinely, pastorally, and I try and care for them and make sure that they are prepared for the big world. The world of it's going to be tough, and they need to be resilient, and it needs to be, they're going to be knocked down, and they're going to have to stand up again. It's going to have to be a weeble. They wobble, but they don't fall down, and they're going to have to keep standing up again and again and again. And actually, the vision I have is for young people to become Christian, not just Christians, but Christian in the way they behave. And for people like you to come out and say, I came from Morecambe Bay, for goodness sakes, right? My dad was a telephone engineer. I glorify him. He was much more important than that. But you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And I have become something that changed the world for the better.
Working class boy from
what you
Manchester.
want.
Let me leave you with this thought. I'm very much into sport, and I was privileged to hear the England cricket sports psychologist speak a few years ago. And he talked about what made the difference, what made the best cricketers the best. And he'd coached Sir Alistair Cook and Sir Jimmy Anderson.
Great players, yeah.
Best batsman and the best bowler ever. And he made this comment. He said, I have met many cricketers with more ability than them, but they never made it. So he said, the interesting fact you all want to know is, what's the difference between ability and those that make it? And he said, he's put it down to three things: attitude, character, and resilience.
Yeah, there it is.
And I think, to turn that round into a Christian context, we know something about Christ-like character, attitude, Christ-like character. We're not so good at a Christ-like resilience. We tend to want a shortcut and easy answer. But it's that attitude, that character, and that resilience, and I sometimes use the word endurance rather than resilience, that we can find in God, that we can be empowered with by the Holy Spirit, that makes the difference. Don't worry about ability. Attitude, character, and resilience is what will get you there. And we have that in spades in Christ. So let's go there. Let's go to the well. Let's go to the place where we can be refreshed. And let's be refreshed and let's be empowered to change the world.
You've been a great inspiration to us tonight, and I think actually to many people out there. And my wife going, you've been a great inspiration to many of us out there. And I hope we can actually discuss this further, because I think it's something that somebody like you needs to be seen. And I genuinely don't worry about you haven't gone to Spring Harvest yet.
I'm not worried. I just long to be able to help the church.
And I think if they don't invite you, I mean, I often don't understand these people. Often it's about often misplaced ego, and that's in my experience. So you can't. In some ways, it's about creating. You've created your own furrow, and I think you're a godly man, and I think you're only 65. My whole tour right now is, what is it about, Sue? Not dead yet.
Jonathan,
Right.
I've loved tonight because it has been the first time that I've done something like this in the Christian space.
Oh my goodness.
Even to share my faith.
Right.
Well, you've been brilliant.
Well, you've been brilliant, and you're coming back again. If you
Yes.
can make it from Southampton and get out of the garden in time. You've been absolutely fantastic. And
My
you know
pleasure.
what? Up front. And I love that.
Yeah.
Unapologetic and straightforward with your faith. And people who are out there who are not Christian go, well, I suppose it's a bit Christian. Yes, it is. We don't apologise for
But
that.
they will all respect that.
And
That's
they
the
will
point.
all respect exactly that. It's the mealy mouth stuff that I don't like. It's the kind of, well, a bit of this and a bit of that. No, I think I love what you've done. Finish, and I'm not going to sing any more apart from this song, God of the Moon and Stars. Put it on, Rach. I'll start it. It's one of the best songs Paul's ever written. Think of me tomorrow. I've got to travel up to Manchester to sing at a funeral of Paul's brother-in-law, unfortunately. And so if you could just put this one on the track. But he's one of the songs that he wrote years ago and means so much, God of the Moon.
And Trevor, we haven't forgotten that it's your birthday tomorrow, and so this would be a lovely song for you to
Who else?
hold on to. I think we've done everyone else, actually.
Because he lives.
Yeah, I'm saying for Trevor instead.
God of the moon and stars, God of the near and far, God of these fragile hearts, we are, I come to you. God of our history, God of the future that will be, what will you make of me? I come to you. God of the meek and mild, God of the reckless and the wild, God of the unreconciled, I come to you. God of our life and death, God of our secrets unconfessed, God of our every living breath, I come to you. God of the rich and poor, God of the princess and the whore, God of the ever open door, I come to you. God of the unborn child, God of the pure and undefiled, God of the pimp and pedophile, I come to you. God of the war and peace, God of the junkie and the priest, God of the greatest and the least, I come to you. God of the refugee, God of the prisoner, God of my doubts and certainty, I come to you.
God of our joy and grief, God of the lawyer and the thief, God of my faith and unbelief, I come to you. God of wounds we bear, God of the deepest dreams we share, God of our unspoken prayer, I come to you. God of a world that's lost, God of a lonely, lonely cross, God who has come to us, we come to you. On that note, very late, we say good night to you from Sue and from our lovely guest, Keith. Sue?
Good night, everyone. It's been lovely to be here with you, and we love you lots. Thank you for joining us. And those of you who've got a difficult week ahead, we're thinking of you and praying for you. And, yeah, keep in touch, and we'll be with you next week.
You. Thank you very much, Stephen. God bless you. And thank you so much for giving up this time tonight for us.
Keith, actually, but...
Who's Stephen?
Absolutely fine.
Hey, I'm calling you Stephen.
Jonathan,
why would I call you?
It's been an absolute privilege to sit here with you and your wife and to hear you sing. It takes me back to my early childhood listening to you. And it's just like being with the presence of somebody I have loved. And hearing you sing like that, it's just awesome. Thank you.
Bless you, mate.
Bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you,
God
Keith.
bless you all. Good night. And we'll see you next week, 8 o'clock, where it's the opera evening. For something completely different, as they say. And be envisioned, be filled with passion. And we look forward to having a national conference. I'll sing, you'd speak. I'll interview you. I'll do anything. I'm that desperate. No, come on. We can do this. We can do something. Empowering young people for Christ for the next generation. It's a long title, but I think we can get that conference going. All right. God bless you. Speak soon. Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you, Rachel.